I want to read a whole file using the Princeton In library. So I created this file called composers.txt. Well, I grabbed it from the internet. It lists the date of the birth, date of death, country, and the name of famous composers. And they're arranged alphabetically. And I want to read this file and display the composer who died the youngest and the oldest. So let's do that. Let's create a new Java program, which I'll call composers. And I want a main method. And I want to use in, control space, I'll call it file, new in, and the file name is composers.txt. I want to record the youngest and the oldest at the time of death. So I'll say that the youngest was 200, because nobody would be that young. And if I find anybody younger, I'll update this variable. And oldest, 0, because nobody would die that young. And I'll update it as I read the file. And I'm going to repeatedly read lines from this file. So I need some kind of loop. So I'm going to loop until there are no more birth dates. So I'm going to say while file.has next line. So while there is still a line to read, I'm going to read the birth date file.readInt. I'm going to read the death date file.readInt. I'll read the country. Country is file.readString. And now I need to read the name. So the name will be the rest of the line, the whole rest of the line. So I can say read string, but sometimes there are 2 strings or 3 strings. And I don't know which. So I'm going to use a different routine to read the whole of the line that follows. So I'm going to say string name is file.read line, and that will read up to the end of the next line. Okay, and now I'm going to check if I should update youngest or oldest. If the death minus birth is younger than youngest, then I found a new youngest composer. Death minus birth. This is the age of the composer at the time of death. Else, if death minus birth is more than the oldest, then I really want to do the same thing, except instead of updating youngest, I'll update oldest. I really also want to record the name, so I'll say string youngest name is, well, at the moment we don't know, I'll just leave it as that, and oldest name. And I'll have to update that as well. Youngest name is name, and oldest name is name. So I'm ignoring the country altogether. I just read it so I can get rid of it out of the file. That's the way to skip. And when that stops, I'll say youngest, oops, spelled correctly, youngest was youngest name, and I want to add the age, youngest, and the same for oldest. Oldest. So oldest name and the oldest age. Right. It's complaining that I'm reading country without using it. I can actually delete this. I'll read the string, but I won't store it in a variable. I'll just read it and it'll disappear. So let's save that and run it. And there we go. Franz Schubert died the youngest at age 31. Irving Berlin lived until 101. Good for him.